start with the UK media as always, and then we'll make questions available to the Pakistan media. Sonia Interim, she is. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think another great game to be a part of. Completely different, conditions to the first Test match. But yeah, we adapted to those conditions, but we still stuck to the way in which we want to operate. And that's obviously a very pleasing thing, knowing that last week obviously was a very flat wicket, whereas this week was a challenging one, but we still went out and applied ourselves in the way in which we want to. But yeah, another game going down to the wire, but those are you want to play in games like that more than not. So yeah, another great week.
And you made the decision to bring in Mark Wood for this Test match and were rewarded for it this morning. How crucial were those wickets to break that partnership?
Yeah, massive. You sort of look at where the game's going and how long's left in the session, and there was a few decisions I made, in which was, what type of bowling does the sort of batter not want to face at these times, and pretty sure I wouldn't want to be facing bouncers at 145 to 150 with 20 minutes left, even if I have faced as many balls as those two. So, that's what we picked him for, to come in and change the game and blow it open for us. So, it was an easy decision to make to bring him home, but, for him to produce 2 wickets at such a crucial time for us was, a real game-changing moment. And, as I say, that's what we brought him into the team for, to do, to bowl fast and, just come on and change the game.
And finally for me, we noticed you didn't bowl throughout the Test match. Are you fully fit and capable to bowl?
Yeah, I just honestly just didn't feel that I personally would add sort of too much to what we had. Look at the way in which, especially the seamers bowled, and Robbo and Jimmy just incredible. The relentlessness with their line and lengths, even when it's not doing anything, again, was incredible. But then when we found that crack, those two are our most accurate bowlers, and they just kept on seeming to find it. And obviously it's going to be tough for batters to face that when it's going one way or the other. And then we got a little bit of reverse swing as well, so that brought our seamers back into it again. But I think Pakistan's game plan was to sort of sit in against our seamers and then look to attack the spin. So that was, a tactical reason as to why we bowled a lot more seam today than we did a spin, where you'd think that spin would play a big part on the last day of a Test match.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go Lawrence and then Dean.
Hi Ben, just wondered how much spirits were lifted by that late wicket from Leachy last night, and was there any moment during the chase when you thought it was getting slightly out of your control?
Yeah, I mean, when you take a wicket like that at the end of the day, when they build a big partnership, it's obviously a massive boost coming off at the end of the day, and you go to bed a little bit easier. But honestly, the only time where I was sort of thought that was when the young fella came out and started playing some big shots, because he got 12 in the game, and I was like, it's written in the stars for him. He's going to finish 30 not out and be the next superstar in Pakistan cricket. So, but I always felt we were only just 1 wicket away, because it's a very tough wicket to come in and score on against seam, and obviously with the pressure of having to chase down a total adds to the pressure of going out and batting. So I always felt, even when the runs were coming down and down, that we just one little wicket away from something happening here. And then obviously, when it got to 8 down, you look at the scoreboard and you go, it's two balls. That's all this is going to take, and it's going to take a lot for them to chase the runs down.
Can I just ask about the wicket of Shakil just before lunch? Were you confident looking at the replays on the big screen that it was going to be given out? Was any doubt in your mind that hadn't carried it?
Only doubt was when you're out there waiting for a decision, the longer the third umpire takes to look at those decisions is when you start thinking that it might get overturned. But no doubt in my mind about that carrying. You see a lot of those decisions and those type of catches in cricket. I could say the sort of similar thing to when Ruti got caught short leg. You could say that might have touched the floor, but you just got to go with what the umpire's decision is. And obviously it went our way, but I've been involved in a few decisions where stuff like that's gone against us, but you can't change it.
Dean and then Stefan.
Ben, it would appear that you're kind of riding a crest of a wave, 8 wins out of 9. Have you had any moment to kind of think about the magnitude of a series win in Pakistan? And don't come along very often, obviously, but over a period of history for an England side to do that, has it sort of dawned on you just what you've achieved thus far?
Yeah, coming into this game being 1-0 up before we even bowled the ball, I think we all understood that, what we could achieve before we started this game, and, we're not naive in the fact of what we know we've achieved here, because we know how tough it is, not just for English teams to come here and win, but for any team. Pakistan are a huge threat in their own conditions, so, not for 1 minute are we, going to think that, oh no, it's just another Test series win. It's beating Pakistan in Pakistan's massive. So no, we know what we've achieved. We know that it's a very special thing in English cricket to come here and win. So yeah, I think it was a strange feeling there, the celebration at the end winning the series, just because compared to last week, because just another thing, we've got this bug just floating around the dressing room, which we just can't seem to get rid of. And I think it was a sign of just how tired the lads were there, mentally and physically. So no, we know what we've achieved, and another great win for us.
And actually that kind of ties into the next question about Mark Wood. You talked obviously about trying to get him to blow the game open, which he did, but in terms of the kind of character, resilience, effort that was required for him to do the hard yards, bowling short is quite hard work, as you know. What does that say about him and his character, that he's not played a first-class game for 9 months and he can go and do that for you the first Test he plays?
Yeah, it's great, and I think what made it slightly easier for him coming into this game was the clarity in the role which he was going to play. We knew we had to use his assets of pace to our advantage, and we feel that the Pakistan batters don't tend to like it up top when you're bowling it short at them. So the decision to bring him on before lunch was to come on and do that, and use that to our advantage, and getting those two wickets of the blokes who were in and set was a massive time in the game for us, and took us into the lunch break on top of the game again.
Stefan, and we'll start taking some questions from the Pakistan media.
Ben, in the past, England have only ever won 2 Test matches away to Pakistan, whether that be here or in the UAE. You've won 2 in a week. What does that say about this particular group of players now, and what they could go on to achieve?
I think it says we're quite good, I think. And yeah, I think one thing we do is we just sort of stay in the moment, and as what does Leachy say? You just live where my shoes are, or something like that. Just always stay in the moment. Don't take this kind of stuff and this kind of form for granted, and always just keeping that the mantra of we're bigger than what we're actually doing at the moment. What we're trying to do is bigger than sort of results and all that kind of stuff, but obviously it massively helps when you are winning, and in the way in which we're winning. But yeah, the guys who I've got in the squad, from the guys who step out on the field to the guys who unfortunately miss out on selection, are all in it together, and we all really believe in what we're trying to do. So very, very special time to be an England cricketer.
The collapse yesterday morning, we know you want to be positive, but I'm sure you want to be ruthless as well. Could you have been more ruthless with the bat yesterday, and is that a lesson to take forward?
I wouldn't say it was a collapse. I'd just say it was not executing what we wanted to do, and that's fine. But no, it's one of those things. It's always easier to say something after it's happened, but we could have easily got to 400, 420, 430 lead playing in that way. We just didn't execute as well as we would have liked to.
Okay, Shaquille Eastry here on this side, and then we'll take some questions in.
Hello Ben, Shafkat Shabir here from Crickwick. You talked about the tactical aspect of beating Pakistan, bringing on the bowlers, those bowling changes, and batting the way you people have been batting throughout the series and in this Test match. I want to ask you about the psychological and mental aspect of the things. When you and the boys come up with the plan and push Pakistan in a corner, changing the fields, coming up with different bowling options, I mean, how much psychologically and mentally it took you to outwit and outfox Pakistan in this series, and especially in this test match?
No, I don't think so, because that's how that's how I sort of like to do things with my captaincy, especially out here. Is, it's not something that I find hard to do in terms of changing different things. I don't read or think too much about it. It's just a very natural thing for me to do, to sort of look at different ways and over of how we're going to get a wicket, and